gentlemen, Mike here from the Mind of Mike channel, and welcome to another Minecraft Lord of the Rings tutorial. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to set up a server. So there are many reasons why you might want to set up a server. Maybe you want to do some testing at home. Maybe you have an extra computer that you want to set up a server on so that you and your friends can play. Maybe you want to do some live streaming and you want to have a way that everyone can connect in and play together. I do this often on my live streams. So, there are lots of reasons why you might want to set one up. And I've gotten quite a few requests to do a tutorial on it, so let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need to do is download Minecraft Forge. Forge is necessary for the Lord of the Rings mod, so you're going to need to go to 1.7.10. You are going to need to ignore the large-breasted girl on the left there, and you're going to download the Windows installer. I'm assuming you're using Windows. If you're not, you can figure it on your own. Yeah, you're going to download the Windows installer. I am not going to take you through the entire stupid ad process. We're going to just cancel this. But we are going to go over here. I've already downloaded Forge right here. So we're going to double click on it. And that will bring up this little menu here. You're going to install server. Now I'm going to change the directory just to the desktop here. And we're going to just make it, I don't know, test server. And we're going to hit OK. It will be created. You notice it's going to create the folder. So we're going to hit OK. It's going to download a bunch of stuff and set up a server folder right here. You can see it being set up. It's going to take a minute or so to download everything and get itself ready. All right, there we go. It has downloaded a bunch of stuff, set itself up. So let's open the folder very quickly. You will see a bunch of stuff here. The one thing we want to make sure is that we're always going to be running Forge, not the Minecraft server itself. Because if you just run the server itself, it's not going to be able to load mods. So we're going to run Forge here really quickly. Just double click on it. Then it set itself up, set a few things up here. And then we will proceed. The server will start very briefly and then shut down for a couple of reasons. First, we want to go to this eula.txt. Open that. This basically, you have to set to true. And it's basically saying that you are agreeing to the terms, the Minecraft server terms. So save that. Make sure it's set to true. And now we're going to go into mods here real quick. And we're going to copy over Minecraft Lord of the Rings mod. Now, I also recommend you check out Fastcraft, things like that. You might want to add to the server other mods to improve performance and stuff like that. We're not going to go over it right now. I just want to show you how to get a basic server set up. So we're going to have to run this one more time. Let the server get itself started up for real. It's going to spend a few minutes getting itself set up. It's going to create a default world, which we don't really want, but let's just let it do its thing for a second. All right, you can see that it has loaded itself here. It has replaced the world. We're going to quit again out of the server. We're going to delete this world here because we don't really want the default world right now. We're going to go back into server properties and see that there are a bunch of settings here. So let's go through them sort of one by one. I'm not going to dwell on all of them, but let's go through some of them anyway. So allow nether true. You can leave that on if you want. Up to you. If you want to be able to go to nether, sure, why not? Level name. This is just the world name, the actual save file name. I'm going to set mine to Shangri-La because I always do. Shangri-La. Allow flight, false. I would recommend setting this to false. This basically allows you to fly within the world, even in survival mode, if you have certain mods that allow you to fly. Just leave it off. Server port, you can leave it at default or you can change it. I usually change it just to give myself a little bit of added security, although it's not really that important. So you can change it, but you will have to remember this number for later. Next, level type, default. We probably want to change this. What this does is, if you leave it on default, this means that you will spawn in the overworld and you will have to work your way into Middle-earth. I prefer to spawn just in Middle-earth, so this will create a Middle-earth world type if you actually just type in Middle-earth. So set it to Middle-earth like that, and then you will spawn directly in the Shire when you load up, and I think that's much easier for a Lord of the Rings Minecraft world. Level seed, you can set a seed if you want to. If you don't, it will be randomly generated. Force game mode false, I would keep it at false as well. What this does is, if you skip down to game mode 0 here, game mode 0 is survival mode. Now, if you set this to force game mode true, that means every time you log in, anyone, including ops, they will be forced into survival mode. So if you're, in creative and you're 300 feet in the air and you log out, when you log back in, you will be suddenly in survival mode and falling to your death. So I would recommend leaving it false. Server IP, again, just leave it blank. For most situations, leave it blank. I'm not going to go into why, but yeah. Whitelist, I would set that to true. If you don't set this to true, it means anyone who knows your server IP can join. That would be an open public server. If you want to do that, great. I do not tend to want to do that because I want to be able to control who comes on and who doesn't. So with the whitelist on, you have to give permission to anyone who wants to join, and I will show you how to do that later. PvP, if you want players to be able to kill each other, leave it on true, otherwise set it on false. You can adjust the difficulty. Enable command blocks. If you want to use command blocks on your server, you can set this to true. They are quite powerful. They can cause a lot of server lag if there are people who don't know what they're doing, so be careful with this. If you want to, like I said, set it to true, do it, but be careful. Game mode 0. This allows you to set the game mode when you log in initially. Game mode 0 is survival. Game mode 1 is creative. I believe 2 is adventure and 3 is spectator, although I can't remember. You're probably going to want to just leave it at 0 for survival or 1 for creative. Max players. This is also an important one if, you know, you want to control your bandwidth and stuff like that, or if you want to control how many resources are used. I would recommend setting it as low as possible. If you're only going to have 5 people on, set it to 5. If there's only going to be 2, set it to 2. You know, just sort of max it out so you don't create a situation where you go way over your bandwidth and everyone's lagged out and they can't move. View distance. Your performance and your bandwidth are affected a lot by this setting. So I would set it as low as you can get away with maybe, or as high as you can get away with, depending on what your opinion is. I tend to set mine to 8 for my home server, just because if you go higher, it tends to use a lot of resources and bandwidth and lag people out. So yeah, I would set it to 8. You can set it higher if you want to. This is finally the name of your actual server. Let's just say Mike's server. All right, and I think we are pretty much good to go. Let us save this. And then I'm gonna leave it open just because we're gonna use it in a minute, but let me show you something else. Now, you could just start the server by double clicking on Forge. But what I prefer to do is use a batch file to start the server. I have one prepared and I will put a link to it in the description below this video, but let me open it very quickly and show you what it is. So it's a pretty simple one, but what this allows you to do right here, this command, is it allows you to set the amount of memory that's used for the server. I tend to set mine pretty high. It's not necessary per se, but Lord of the Rings Minecraft, if you have a bunch of people on a server, can use up memory very, very quickly. So if you have 4 gig to spare, set it for 4 gig. So you put that in there, you double click on this, and we should have a server that starts up and starts going. It's gonna take a few minutes. It's got to generate the world, and you will see, let's sort of expand this a little bit so we can see what's going on. It has created Shangri-La folder, which is my world save. It is getting itself ready, and it is basically ready to go. Now, if you look at the bottom here, you will see that this is an area where you can enter commands. So you can use this basically like the command option in the Minecraft game to, I don't know, to op people or to change the game mode, stuff like that. And I'll show you in a minute why this is important. You can see that you right now using 1287 meg, which is, this is nobody on the server at all. So you can see how it could get up pretty high pretty quick. So the first thing we want to do is we want to whitelist ourselves so we can actually join. We're going to type whitelist, and we're going to type add and mindofmike. That's me. So there we go. And you should see it says right here, a little bit awkward, added mindofmike to the whitelist. All right, so we should be good to go. Let us join our own server. See how it goes. Go in here. I'm going to jump in this. All right, so we're going to go into multiplayer here. You'll notice my servers here, including the dark times. Let us go to direct connect. You could add a server. In fact, you know what? Let's add a server. Why not? We'll call it Mike's server. Mike's test server. We want to go in and enter localhost. Now I am typing localhost because the server I'm using is on the same machine. If you have a separate machine you want to use for a server, you're going to have to find the IP address of that machine and type it in. If you want your friends to connect to your server on your home machine, you're going to have to find out the IP address of your home network. And you're also going to have to possibly port forward the port that we were talking about here, this one, 53500. If you don't know how to do that in your router, that's sort of beyond the scope of this tutorial, but you can figure it out online. Just Google port forwarding. Now we're going to have to remember this, 53500, because we're going to have to type that in, :53500, and we're going to hit done. And you can see here, Mike's test server. The name is Mike's server, which is what I typed in the bottom here. You can also see that the maximum number of players are 2, which is what I typed in right here. We are good to go. We should be able to connect directly to this. Let's join the server and see if it works. You can see on the left, it says mindofmike has joined the game and we are in. Check that out. We're here. It is working. Everything is cool. So we have joined the server. Everything is good. Let's pause for a second here and go back and check this out. You can see my tick rate is around 20. 20 is probably good. If you go over, I'm going to say 50, you're probably going to notice some lag. Under 50, you're probably good, but it does really depend on a lot of different things. So yeah, and you're also running a server on the same machine as you are playing Minecraft, at least in my case. So you're sort of doubling everything up. But yeah, we seem to be pretty good right now. And yeah, all right. So we have succeeded. We have set ourselves up a server. We have logged in. And the only thing left to do is to play some Minecraft Lord of the Rings. Maybe with our friends. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Getting a server running. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below. Or come on my Discord chat and we can chill out and talk together and I can help you through the process if you need a little bit of extra help. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more. Take care, guys, and have yourselves a great day.